Hey folks, this is Matt once again, and sort of doing some lighting, so I did like some stuff on my face, like I'm a ghoul or a zombie or something. Anyway, for the Halloween spirit. But this was a film I was not planning on reviewing, but very nice guy, LoveDeepPut79 is his username, said, did you ever think of revisiting this film? And I wasn't thinking of it, but I figured, hey, it's Halloween season, and I really enjoy this movie a lot, and that is the Unnamable. Now, this is a DVD-R because it's not on DVD in the US. It was on DVD. There was a DVD, I believe, in the UK, but it's out of print. So yeah, what you see here is a DVD-R I got long ago because I remember this when I was a kid. I really enjoy it to this day. Pretty much what you say, this is a bootleg. I don't know why this film has never been on DVD, let alone Blu-ray, because the sequel was on DVD in the US. The sequel by Lionsgate. Can't see it, but it's Lionsgate. Now, I will admit, I enjoy both of these movies. I will not review The Unnamable II because I have a lot of other stuff to get to. Plus, I already reviewed both of these. So what I'll do is maybe at the end of the video, I'll talk a few minutes about this. I'll also put down the link to my older review of both of these movies, including the second one, which I want to go a bit more in depth in. So for anyone who wants to hear my thoughts on the second film, feel free to link down below or wait till the end of the video, I'll talk about it. But this is more about the first one. The first one of the two, I like both of those. They're both fun to watch back to back because they have the same actors, same characters. So it continues the story of this one. But the first one is my favorite. The first one I saw more growing up. Film came out in 1988, and it's a child favorite of mine. It has that 80s feel to it. Of course, it made sense. It was in the 80s. I really enjoy the main theme of the music by David Bergode. It's based on the story by H.P. Lovecraft, which I'm sure this was made because of the success of films like Reanimator, which was H.P. Lovecraft. I like the two lead guys, Charles Keene, who's now known as Charles Klausmeyer, and Mark, what was his name? Mark Kinsey Stephenson? I believe his name is Mark Kinsey Stephenson, who plays Randolph Carter. I enjoy both these guys. I think they both did a good job. Yeah, Mark Kinsey Stephenson is Randolph Carter, and the lead guy, Charles Keene, plays as Howard. And Charles Keene, the lead guy, aka Charles Klausmeyer, who went on to do, I guess, voices of video games. He was the voice of some guy named Raphael, weirdly enough, because I'm a Ninja Turtle fan. But it has nothing to do with that. It's another guy named Raphael in Soul Calibur games and some of the Soul Calibur sequels. He was the voice of Jonah Jameson in, I believe, the Spider-Man 2 video game in 2004. Could be wrong on that. But I don't know what he does nowadays, but for a while after this, he did voices for some video games. And Charles Keene, I always thought he was related to Stephen King, because he looked like he could be Stephen King's brother, or Stephen King's cousin, or Stephen King, sometime kind of relative to Stephen King. But yeah, from Charles Keene, he's now Charles Klausmeyer. And Mark Kinsey Stephenson, who plays Randolph Carter, is sort of an eccentric character who, like, this is more Charles Keene's movie with Mark Kinsey Stephenson doing some stuff, and then this is more Mark Kinsey Stephenson's story and Charles Keene doing some stuff. And the story, straightforward, short film, hour and 20 some minutes. We get to that before I get more in depth as to why I enjoy this film. Hundreds of years ago, this guy named Joshua Winthrop you get the idea that this was his daughter, who is heavily, well, fucked up, to be honest. Demonic, this creature, and he's kept it in this house that, when it closes behind you, locks itself, just as a mechanism so that the creature can't get out of the house. And he doesn't want to kill her because it's his daughter, but at the same time he keeps it sort of trapped, mainly in the attic. And one day it comes out and rips his fucking heart out. And that's one thing about this film. It has some pretty damn good gore. I like the atmosphere. I like the lighting and the use of shadows. Really enjoy the song at the end. Up there, I don't want to see inside. I can feel up there. You can see his face. Watching you, watching you. I'm doing a shitty job of it. Up there. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Up there. Do-do-do of the night. Up there. It's watching you, watching you. I think it's Mark Ryder and Phil Davies who did the theme song at the end. I really enjoyed it. It has a, I think a friend of mine described it as ethereal. It fits the film well. I mean, I don't know about the lyrics, but the tone of the song fits the film very well. But I'm jumping ahead of myself. Because the story is very simple. After this guy's been killed by his daughter, getting his fucking heart ripped out, it jumps to current day, where these three guys are talking about the legend. Charles Keene, who's sort of a freshman in college, playing Howard. Kinsey Stephenson as Randolph Carter. He's been there for a while, and he seems to know more about legends, and he's much more literate, read many books on various subjects. And then a third guy, I believe the guy's name is Joel, who doesn't believe any of this. He's a science major, thinks it's all horse shit. And yeah, maybe someone saw a reflection because after a while something can be embedded by radiation or something, but he's a non-believer. And this Joel guy goes, well, fuck this. The house is over there. Let's go over there and stay the night. And Randolph Carter, Kinsey Stephenson, is like, hey, if you want to do that, fine, but you should bear warning on the legends that even if they go fantastical, there's some truth based on it. And Joe's like, oh, that's bullshit. I don't want to stay there. And Charles Keene doesn't know what to do, but decides to go with Randolph Carter, which is the smart thing. And this guy goes in the house and looks around the house and gets his ass killed. And then pretty much these two women, one who Charles Keene likes, but she doesn't give him the time of day because she's a slut and a bitch. A bitchy slut that wants the higher-ups. And then you have this other woman, the good girl, Tanya, who secretly likes Charles Keene's character, but she doesn't want to admit anything. And then they get hooked up with these two guys who want to take them to this house, which is the same house. And ultimately to try to get in their pants. It always makes me laugh that the slut bitch is like, but come on, he's the captain of the rowing team. It's not meant to be funny, but that makes me laugh that these guys are the preppy guys. They're preppy because they're the captains of the rowing team, not the football team or basketball team. Rowing. Rowing down the fucking river. So, I mean, again, that's not meant to be funny, but just something that did make me laugh watching this again. So they go in the house, they look around, they get trapped in it, and after a while the creature comes out, starts killing them one by one. Charles Keene and Kinsey Stephenson gets to the house, wondering where their friend's at. They haven't heard anything. And then cat and mouse chase throughout the house until we get to our finale. And I can see a lot of people finding this film boring and slow-paced. But I guess how people enjoy The Howling 5 is the reason why I enjoy this film. And that's why when I talked about the Howling Five, I'm like, well, I could just watch this movie, because this movie, I like the two lead characters. I did not like any of the characters in the Howling Five. And I mention that because it was a group of people in one location, more of a mansion than just a house. Going around is about atmosphere and lighting and shadows. But for me, my personal opinion, I thought this did that kind of stuff better. I like the house better. I like the way it's lit and these sort of blue lighting and mixture of shadows. I like the sound design, especially of the Unnamable. And I'm not going to try to recreate the sound because I fucked it up. But like there's this one shot where Charles Keene is with the good girl Tanya, and they turn and they see the Unnamable there. You don't see its head, but it's holding a dead body. And then it cuts to a really bloody head that is wide open. The victim, the Unnamable's holding. And just the sound effect of the creatures mating. This weird, creepy sound. And then just drops the fucking body and like goops of brain seep out. And really well done effects. I mean, effects, I believe it's a guy named R. Christopher Biggs. Really good gore in this flick. I really liked the atmosphere. I liked the two leads. Charles Keene, or Charles Klausmeier as Howard. I thought he was an innocent guy. He was likable. He was easy to root for. And he did perfectly fine. I thought he did a good job in the flick. It was really easy to root for this guy. And Mark Kinsey Stephenson as Randolph Carter, which he has more to do in the second film. Which I will say, again, it's nice to watch these back-to-back for that. Sorry about the lighting. Not the best. But I'm hesitating because I just see a lot of people being bored with the flick because there's not a lot of action. There's a small group of people getting trapped in a house that can't get out because the mechanism that the guy had hundreds of years ago to, if you're in, you're trapped, just so the creature can't get out. It's not like shotguns and fucking machine guns and wall-to-wall action and wall-to-wall things happening. It's a very small cast and is mostly just takes place in one house. Whereas then there's apartments like, well, how big is this fucking house? It seems like they're getting lost pretty quickly in what looks like a normal type of building or house. It's not like a castle or anything. And you do have characters, at times doing very stupid stuff. And so, but I would still defend the film. I think it's a film that has a lot of merits that does not deserve to not be on DVD, let alone Blu-ray. I mean, again, even the fucking sequel got a DVD. And again, the first one I like more because it does have good usage of lighting and shadows and atmosphere and the 80s feel. And I especially like the main theme musical score that you hear at the beginning of the film. And like I said, the song at the end, Up There. But it'll get a little bit more in depth into the flick. Again, the gore's great. When he gets his heart ripped out, the body falls and the body's like twitching, and the creature just fucking dumps the heart right on the guy's chest. This one death scene that, man, when I was a kid, I wouldn't say I got scared, but it was like, ooh. And the creature hits the guy, and the guy falls on the ground. The creature keeps picking him up and dropping his head like this. And picks him up and just picks up again. And each time he falls, more and more blood appears on the ground. And then he actually picks the guy up and does this, like, kind of like if you had something you wanted to dry and you sort of do this to get the water out, last bits of water. It does that with the back, to get the last of the blood in the back of the guy's head to get out of, and then you're being dragged away in this streak of blood. It's just one of those. I would say I think it's one of the creepiest death scenes out there. Just the fact that this, as it goes on, your head becoming more and more open, and the more times it lands on the floor, and just the crack of the head opening up more because there's like more blood seeping out, and one guy has his throat ripped out and just lots of blood gushing on the guy's face. Or when Charles Keene and Tanya, they turn around, they find Charles Keene's buddy Joel hung upside down, hands tied behind his back, and the head's been ripped off, and the blood's dripping into like this bowl. And like I said, the one reveal of a dead body, and they just turn around, there's the Unnamable, and you don't see its face, but you see its body holding another victim, and the back of the head's wide open, and just drops in, just groups of brain falls out, and has a one really like nasty sounding neck, not neck rip, but neck breaking. Like, wow, that's a neck breaking scene. Just the impact of the sound effect. And like I said, Charles Keene has a good innocence to him. Mark Kinsey Stephenson's Randolph Carter is a very eccentric character. He's a little bit, I would say, tongue-in-cheek. Like, throughout all this, he's the one who's calm about it, which is probably why he's one of the few that survives. And you should trust this. He warned this guy Joel to not go in there, and the guy didn't listen. He's the one looking through the books and found the spell that helped out big time by the end of the flick. The girls, the bitchy, slutty girl, she was there. Then the good girl, Tanya, was it Alexandra Durrell? She was okay. She had a bit of a thick accent. I'm not sure where her accent is from. She's not in the second film, but yet I remember on the credits, like she's a co-producer for the second film, but she's not in the second film, which I found kind of strange. Like, why is she a co-producer of this, but yet she's not in the film? I thought that was kind of strange. But I thought I had some nice cat and mouse sequences. And like I said, Randolph Carter, when those two first get to the house, and they're able to open the door from the outside, the good girl sees a shadow thinking it's a creature and faints. And Randolph Carter goes, yeah, just like a woman to faint. Like I said, he's very calm no matter what. They give you small glimpses of the Unnamable beforehand. You see a little glimpse of maybe its face. You see its hooves. And that's the thing, the creature design. That's another great thing. Such a cool creature design, because it's a lady. It's a female monster. But it's got sort of these wings, and it's got really nice makeup on the face, and these sort of pointed ears and hooves, and white hair, and really, really sharp teeth, and long claws, and yeah, this really won't do it justice. But, oh, and that's the dead body hanging upside down. Oh yeah, and that scene is when these two are making out, the slutty girl and a guy, and you do see some nipple action, so you get some titties in there. And then the buddy from the beginning of the film, his head falls down, and half his face been fucked up, and they find them. That's when they want to get the fuck out of Dodge. Yeah, the slut bitch gets it because she thinks that Charles Keene is the one killing people, because she didn't really dare to look of who was telling people. Tries to kill Charles Keene, and she gets her just desserts and gets her neck cracked like a motherfucker, and gets dragged away right into this little hole in the wall, which I always liked that way that was shot. And the whole time, Randolph Carter is being calm and finding out these books and incantations and spells, and even does his little spell to make these candles go out and then go back on. He's like, I like that one. And then he's able to say to unlock the door and go into this stone coffin outside, which has this big tree root coming out, and starts reciting stuff. And ultimately, he's the reason why the creature gets taken away at the end, because he ultimately gets stuck for a while in there, but he's reciting stuff, which brings sort of these spirits to use these tree limbs to grab the creature and drag her ass out, which then has her caught there, which then leads to the second film, which takes place right after the first film, which I thought was interesting. Just there's about, I don't know, 3-year difference, but yet it takes place right after. But I mean, I even like the ending of the film where, Tanya thinks she sees a reflection in the mirror, and this was established earlier where a girl got scared, and the guy goes up, see, yeah, there's something there, and it's us. And then you think it's going to happen again, but then Charles Keene's, it's just a reflection, and then the creature comes in, tries to get him. Again, great reveal design of the creature, really an original creation. The Unnamable, underrated creature. Really underrated creature. No one ever talks about the Unnamable. That was another reason. I looked on YouTube, and no one has reviewed this film, really. Well, I mean, if I go and I type in, there's not that many reviews for this film. And of course, the fucking movie's not available on DVD. How the hell do people want to see it? My review from 3 years ago, Mood616 did an 8-minute review of it. There's some trailers to the film. And the film is uploaded on YouTube. Midnight Macabre Films has it. Hour and 23 minutes. Few people have uploaded the song up there, so I'm not the only one who... There's quite a few other people who like that song. But yeah, not many people have reviewed this film. Like me and one other guy has reviewed this movie. Shit. So I'm glad to be talking about it again. Yes, it deserves more. It deserves more. And even the ending where the Tanya hits it with a flashlight, breaks a piece of its arm, and Howard rips part of its face off. Really good gore effects. And again, because of what Randolph Carter did with incantations, creature's able to be stopped and taken away. And you're like, well, where the hell is Randolph Carter? Well, the two escape, and then Howard's being pulled down from the earth, from the ground. And like a skeleton's trying to climb on his back, but then Carter's able to get out, and 3 of them are okay. And Randolph Carter's like, it was hell down there, Howard. Very deadpan. And they go off to the song, Up There, ba-da-da-da-da, Up There, da-da of the night, Up There. I don't want to see inside. You didn't see his face. Watching you, watching you, watching you. Up there. Sorry. The bottom line with this film, I just see if people think it's boring because of the slow pace. It's not a lot of action. It's a group of people in one house doing some cat and mouse with a creature. But I don't just enjoy this because it's a childhood favorite, because I saw this many times when I was a kid on VHS, taped from the video store. It's not just because of that. It's because I like the two leads. I like Charles Keene. Thought he was very likable as the lead, innocent guy, not annoying or irritating at all. He did perfectly fine. Kinsey Stephenson, he was very eccentric, very interesting as the Randolph Carter, as reactions to the proceedings. It was cool to see that they both came back for the sequel, Unnamable II. And I like their back and forth between each other. I like the atmosphere in the house, the lighting, the mood, the shadows, the blue lighting. I think when the gore's there, it's pretty damn good. Heart being ripped out, a guy's fucking head being pounded again and again and again on the floor until it's just more and more of a blood puddle. The reveal that it's just this big hole in the head that just dropped down, groups of brain spills out. Or finding a guy upside down whose head's been cut off and blood dripping down into a bowl. Or nice throat rip with a lot of blood spitting on the guy's face. The creature design is very cool. I think the score does a serviceable job. I mainly, again, like the opening credit music that's used in there. I really enjoyed the song at the end. And it just has that 80s vibe to it. And it was short enough. I mean, I haven't read the short story. Maybe the short story is one of those that I don't know if it can make, because it's not proper. It's an hour and 20 some minutes, and yeah, it's a good thing it wasn't longer. If this was like an hour and 40 minutes, it would be a much bigger problem. Because again, I think some people will be too bored watching this hour and 20 some minute movie, but I was fine with it. I like the atmosphere. I like the two main characters. The girl played Tanya. I mean, she has a thick accent, but she was okay. Nice bits of gore. And I thought Jean Paul Oullette, who directed this and the sequel, thought he did fine directing. With the limited resources he had, I thought he did perfectly fine. Didn't bother me at all. So yeah, I really do enjoy The Unnamable. I really enjoy this flick. I wish it would get a DVD release. Hell, make a Blu-ray release with both these movies. The Unnamable and The Unnamable II. I think... But the thing is, you know what? Fuck that. Fucking Garbage Pail Kids, the movie, got a special edition Blu-ray. Who the fuck gives a shit about that movie? The fucking Garbage Pail Kids movie. A movie that if you ask anyone, they think it's a gigantic piece of shit. I know more people like The Unnamable a fuckload more than the Garbage Pail Kids movie. And Scream Factory put a Blu-ray release of that. I do think this is a cult film. This is one of those films that people mention. Oh, I remember that movie. Or, oh, I like how I put this on Facebook. The picture of the VHS. Immediately wonders, oh, I remember that movie. You go on YouTube and you look up the title. Like my friend Mike OCP, he put up the song up there by... well, a few people did. Like, Mike's video got over 4,000 views. And you read the comments, like, oh yeah, I remember that. Or, I just watched the film, I liked it. Let me go find it here. Oh, I was wondering if the song was up. But yeah, if you type The Unnamable 1988, and you go your filters, you put the duration long over 20 minutes, you'll find it. Some guy named Midnight Macabre Films uploaded the flick 6 days ago, actually. Weirdly enough, 6 days ago. And actually, since this is not on DVD, I think I can get away with this. But real quick light on the sequel. Again, I'll put a link down below to my older review of the sequel, which that's actually uploaded to by this Midnight Macabre Films guy, because it's right here in the suggestions. So I guess he uploaded both, which is cool. And sorry, just want to make sure. I do like the sequel. I don't think it's as good as the first one because it seemed like they tamed the gore down. Cool to see John Rhys Davies in there. I mean, the idea again, it takes place right after this first film, and Kinsey Stephenson gets with John Rhys Davies, who's a professor type of guy, and they go down to where the creature is now trapped, and now it's sort of been split. The human portion of her, as well as the just plain old evil portion of her. There's a little bit of a different design on the Unnamable, I guess, because of that. So Randolph Carter's protecting the human part while they're being chased by the demon part. And yeah, I still like the film. I like the two guys coming back again. This is more Randolph Carter's story. More the guy on the right there. More his story than Charles Keene's story. But Charles Keene comes back and he's in it sporadically. He doesn't just disappear into thin air, which is nice. It was a nice continuation of the story. Overall, I do like it. David Warner makes an appearance in the flick. He's a good actor. But anyway, if you want to hear more of my thoughts on this, look down below. There'll be a link to the Unnamable II movie review. And yeah, it would be nice for this film to get more of a cult following, more talked about, and get a decent release of the film on DVD, on Blu-ray. It deserves it. It doesn't deserve to be disappear into thin air. Doesn't deserve that at all. And I'm just trying to... But anyway, this is just one of those films that I think a lot of people would enjoy having this on a DVD Blu-ray. But, sorry, I've been sort of stalling to see if this will work. So, but anyway, I love The Unnamable. Loved it since I was a kid. Watch it again. Still really enjoy it today. I'm glad this bootleg still works. And hey, if it's a longer than usual, well, no, my reviews are usually pretty long. Fuck it, no one else reviews this film, so I'll fucking do it. So, the best way to end it is... Why not?
It was hell down there. Hours. Shine a light from the sky. Longitude in your eye. You can say you don't want to be left alone at night. I want to see you. I can feel you can see your face. Watch it. Inside of the room. I want to see inside. I want to see inside. Staring hard at the world. Wishing at the world. You can try to resist the call to a central.
I definitely fucked up. I don't know the lyrics to this, I'll admit. Just really enjoy that piece of music at the end. Thought that's a great way to end that movie. But yeah, that's the Unnamable 1988. It's a longer than usual review, but fuck it. Thanks for watching, take care, and see you on the next review. Later.